and welcome to this week's discussion in history, where we delve into the postbellum era. In the tumultuous years following the American Civil War, a new era of industry and commerce swept across the United States of America. One man would rise above the rest, reshaping the landscape of business and becoming an icon of the Gilded Age. This is the story of Cornelius Vanderbilt, the Commodore, and the rise of big business in postbellum era. Turns out, Vanderbilt didn't stay a humble ferry operator for long, however. Soon, he expanded his operations to steamships, and then he used those to connect all the bustling cities along the Hudson River. He revolutionized transportation by introducing these steam-powered vessels, making travel faster and more efficient. Vanderbilt's success in the steamship business, this was just the beginning. He saw the enormous potential in another emerging mode of transportation, railroads. One primary source called him one of the best of a young generation of millionaires because he did it with hard work and ingenuity. Vanderbilt entered the railroad industry and quickly became a dominant force. Through aggressive tactics and strategic acquisitions, he amassed a vast network of railroad lines that stretched across the country from New York to Chicago, as you can see here in this next slide. So, while Vanderbilt's approach was ruthless and uncompromising, it was nevertheless quite effective. He would undercut competitors' prices. He would engage in fierce rivalries, some of the most famous involving the steamboat business to Nicaragua. He used his wealth and influence to get legislation written and have regulations that benefit him. Despite his controversial methods, however, Vanderbilt's business acumen and determination allowed him to gain control over some of the most significant railroad companies in the United States. He quietly bought up a number of railroads to form the New York, Central, and Hudson River Line, one of the largest businesses America had ever seen up until this point. His consolidation efforts brought about the birth of the New York Central Railroad, a transportation empire that dominated the East Coast. As Vanderbilt's wealth grew exponentially, he became one of the richest men in the world. However, his pursuit of wealth went beyond personal gain. In fact, he lived quite frugally for a millionaire. He didn't engage in all the social activities in New York. His children were more famous for that. They built the big mansions and did the socialite scene and ended up squandering most of his fortune. But in his later years, Cornelius Vanderbilt donated a substantial portion of his fortune to philanthropic causes. One of those most notable contributions was the founding of Vanderbilt University in Nashville, Tennessee, which still bears his name to this day. Albeit it was with a lot of persuasion from his wife and clergy. It's the reason it's called Vanderbilt University. His donation was substantial. One historian notes that probably no other individual made an equal impact over such an extended period on America's economy and society. Over the course of his 60-year career, he stood on the forefront of change. He was a modernizer from beginning to end. So, as we could see, the rise of Cornelius Bennett and the era of big business marked a turning point in American history. The postbellum era saw this rise in big business with names like Rockefeller and J.P. Morgan, but first among them was Vanderbilt. And it sparked a wave of industrialization and innovation that transformed the nation into an economic powerhouse. Today, as we look back at the legacy of Cornelius Bennett, we recognize his pivotal role in shaping modern business landscape and the crucial impact of his transportation ventures. Truly a visionary, Cornelius Vanderbilt saw that transportation was the lifeblood of an economy, and he seized the day. The story of his rise to power reminds us that entrepreneurial vision and determination can change the course of history. Thank you, and you guys have a great day.